And welcome to the stream. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. I'm doing pretty well myself. For any of you guys who are new here, make sure to like, sub, follow, all of that nonsense. Helps the channel grow. And for those of you who are returning to the channel, thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to come see the little old me on this small side of the internet here. We will be continuing our journey across the water to recomplete this broken quest here shortly. Just doing updates on my tags. No real announcements here. I don't really have anything special going on, you know, except for you guys coming in the chat. That's about the most special thing we've got here. But yeah, hopefully you guys are having a great day, and let's go ahead and get started into this. Hello Joe, how are you doing? This better be important. I had to ditch TikTok for this. I'm not sure what to tell you. I mean, no need to choose favorites here. At the end of the day, I don't really know how to help it. Ocean making sure it loads. Right. This is to make sure that the frickin' save doesn't bamboozle itself. I still have the letter here. Cool. Okay. Where the hell am I? Sentinel, right. East. Just kidding, I felt like doing that for some reason. That's okay. I understand. How you doing, Joe? Everything alright? Life treating you well? Hello, Scout. Welcome. How are you doing today? The quest is fixed with quotations. I won't really know until I complete the quest, or until I go grab this quest if it's actually complete or not. But we'll find out here soon enough. Yeah, probably not a great idea to go ahead and joke like that, because it's really hard to tell sarcasm and stuff over the internet. You wouldn't want people taking it the wrong way. But hey, I mean, at least you're in a good mood, right? That's the good part. Cause every time we touch, I get this feeling. I'm hearing all the noise that's under my feet. I'm doing all right, Joe. Just here. Um, just trying to get this quest done. Frankly, I just don't want to run all over the place to do it. I'm trying to decide on whether I should go ahead and do the thing of putting all the quest items in my thing, or just literally run all the way up there and continue on my merry way. Because I've already done this once, and I don't want to do it a second time. Doing good, got evacuated because of a wildfire nearby, but other than that, you're okay. Oh, jeez. Damn, Scout. You gonna be alright? I hope it doesn't pass by your path. I mean, even if it's nearby, obviously, you know... Scout, where are you at again? Hermit Peak Fire, if you want to know. Hermit's Peak Fire. Winds are pushing it south, so as of now, I'm not in the line of fire. Yeah, but I mean, brush fires and wildfires like that are pretty crazy, so... You never really know. The winds could change at any moment. I'm not sure what to think about this. Sorry, I'm reading something. I've been putting together a spell guide on Tiny Tina's Wonderland, so... I remember when my mom was in California, she used to live in the mountains, and there's a wildfire near that went hiking. There was a long, black all around the ground. Yep, it just chars and roasts everything, and wildfires spread so damn fast. You know, they try and evacuate anybody who's even alive of sight of it, just because it can really roast through everything. Gonna be sad to see all that beautiful area turn to ash. Yeah, it's unfortunate, especially because things are getting drier and drier, and a lot of erratic weather, and, yeah, it's just getting worse. Started a regular hardcore Worlds. I'm hoping all goes well. Hey, Rooster, it has been a bit. How have you been? What you been up to? You doing all right? Good at you. I'm doing pretty good. It has been quite a journey. I just yesterday managed to go ahead and fix a quest that has been bugged for like the past like 3-something odd days. I guess 4 days at this point. But it was bugged and I couldn't do anything with it. And I finally just got it fixed yesterday. Then I ran the wrong direction for an hour and a half. So I had to reload my save and completely lost an hour and a half's worth of running. So, huh? Yes, that's where the writers. It is canon, but it's its own storyline. Yeah, that's because all of the people on the ship were brought there. Were sent there from the... Yeah, in the DLC for number 2. Yeah. Make the water sound is kind of annoying. Yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing that can really be done about it. I mean, you hear a whole bunch of splish splashing around. Don't worry, I'm dealing with it just as much as you guys. I mean, but if I didn't have the water sound, there wouldn't be any sound aside from, you know, the screeching that is my fucking voice. What you probably need is a synthesizer. Doesn't work. Where are you even going? Okay, so I'm running across the water from here to here. I'm almost there. I'm heading over to this little farm out here in the corner. But first I have to make landfall, and then after I make landfall, I'm going to be heading south. So, yep. Because of just how big this map is, because of how ridiculously large this map is, it really is a multi-hour thing. And I think the worst part is, I'm going to this place over here just to immediately turn around, and I have to go someplace all the way up here. No, I'm not walking on, I'm walking on water because I have a spell cast. And I've been working on this spell for, like, ever. So every time I cast this spell, it gives me, like, 20 minutes of water walking. And I literally spent, like, half an hour casting it while I was waiting for a quest timer to give out. So I could fix my quest thing. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I never have to cast water walking again for the rest of the game, frankly. But yeah, I'm kind of just, I'm upset because I've done this quest already. So I'm going to have to go get this quest and then immediately turn all the way around, go all the way back to the top of the map, finish the dungeon just to turn all the way around and go the exact same place that I did before. Probably going to Utah again for the summer. I'm thinking probably about 2 weeks because I don't want to spend my summer over there. I want to spend the summer over here. That'd be nice. Yeah, Utah in summers. That's nice hot weather. You know, you really get to go see all the mountains and everything else out there. A lot of the wildlife is blooming. You know, trees are chirping, rabbits are blooming, all that stuff. What? Listen, I don't know about you, but every rabbit I've seen pops out of the ground and like bends steel and like attacks knights and like decapitates things, or dresses up in like scantily clad suits, or like what else do cartoon rabbits do? Asking you how your medical care goes. Are you excited for the Arc 2 and Dimensions and the new Godzilla or King Kong movie in 2023? I am not excited about Godzilla or King Kong. I can tell you that much. I was very excited about Arc 2 until they announced that it was going to be an Xbox exclusive, so that killed all of my excitement. As for Dominion, I have no idea what that is. She lives, like, at the top of Utah, so it's nice. How you doing, Luft? She says she's alive in a strained manner. She's currently laying on the ground, enjoying her existence. Oh, Jurassic World Dominion. I guess I'm excited for it. I think the only reason I'm excited is because I saw the Therizino. I saw the Tickle Chicken, and that was about the only reason that I got excited. You know, but they're probably gonna make Tickle Chicken. They're probably gonna make it dumb. They're probably gonna put it in there and then be like, "Hey, you got look at my fingers. Ah, big roar." Big roar, and then they're gonna be like, it's eat meat, and everybody's gonna be like, no, it eat berry. I don't know. I was excited for it, but it depends completely on how they make the theory. If they make it some, like, big apex predator thing, I'll be a little... But there are dimorphs in there, so I guess that'll make Luft happy, right? Hmm? They're in the new movie. You seen the trailer? Yeah, they're dimorphs in there. Someone said that the Giga would be a hybrid. Oh, God.
Why?
They don't need to do that. I mean, the thing is, it doesn't make any sense because the Giganotosaur isn't really... It's like... It's just an oversized baryonyx. It's basically a smaller T-Rex baryonyx hybrid. That's pretty much all it is. It's not like a big thing. They'd be better off just going with the Allosaur. Which also wouldn't make sense because the Allosaur was around the time of the Stegosaurus, not really the T-Rex, so... I mean, I guess Jurassic Park doesn't give a damn about continuity, so... Right? I mean, they got chameleon Rexes running around. What's a hybrid? It's a mix of two things. You know, like, half turkey, half turtle. That would be a hybrid. Yeah, so I'm hoping that they don't do any more of that let's go mixing genetics bullshit, and they learn from their whole Indominus Rex thing. Because, I mean, it's cool to see all these dinosaurs, but it wasn't really cool to see all these dinosaurs, like, that didn't exist. I go to Jurassic Park for realism. You don't trust bots. One bot was talking about a dating app in your comments and you deleted it. Yeah, I mean, it happens. I don't know if you've noticed, but the bots have been going fucking nanners all over again. Yeah, they're going wild. Like, they just pop up in comments all the time now. And I'm just like, no, flag for content, flag for content, flag for content. Looking like the cover of Doom. Me hitting that report button and getting attacked by frickin' demon bots all over the place. I don't have a problem with bots, but man, they are getting the fuck out of hand. And it's only getting worse, too. It's egg. You've got the hots for the bots? Well, don't worry. In the far-flung future, they will have the things for you to appreciate the bots and their wholesome appearances. I mean, they've already got dolls. All they gotta do is get the skeletons that can kind of move on their own. And then you got Beep Boop, wanna get down? Hello, human. My name is Fisto. You know, beep boop, open your poop chute. That's the future. The world is getting worse. Also mostly because there's so many creepy sus people. Like, for real, when I was young, everything was normal and I was witnessing a few robberies. I just witnessed 2 robberies. I mean, the world's always going to be constantly in a state of flux. Our generation is always going to say the previous generation, and the previous generation is going to say the previous generation. So, like, it's constantly on a slide downwards. I feel like we're heading back because a good way to tell exactly where we're going is just listen to the music. Depending on how the music goes, tells you exactly where we're in, and we are currently passing, like, the 80s, heading towards the 70s and 60s. You know, it's gonna be all kinds of the Wild West all over again eventually. Oh, jeez, that was a real hard, like, that was scary. Oh, I guess I was already, kind of out in the water, wasn't I? Music used to be better, now it's just cringe. I mean, I guess. I mean, music's music. It's always going to evolve with the times. You can't be one of those get off my lawn kind of people when everybody's already turned to AstroTurf. I don't have a lawn. See, you're behind the times already. If you don't have a lawn, you can't even be like, man, this is so cringe. Only people who own houses and have lawns can be like, this cringe. They can't even say cringe. They gotta be like, I don't understand what's wrong with all the youths. Hey, land. Nice. Okay, so I shouldn't really have to make too many corrections. Maybe a little bit. Cronge. Yeah. If you gotta be, you only gotta be so, you can only be so old to say cringe. Now you gotta say cronge, because that's how an old person would think cringe is said. And by old person, I mean like myself. All these kids and their 2 weeks. When I was a boy, we used to go ahead and have fun like men. We used to go up behind horses and slap them in the nuts, and hopefully we didn't get our asses kicked. That's how real men used to go ahead and have fun. We used to take a stick and hit it up against a wooden hoop. Try and keep it going as long as you can. You want to talk about your kill streaks? How about them bait streaks? I remember once I had like a 26 hit long streak on one of them hoops. Now the only hoops you guys know how to shoot is the basketball. What are you talking about? Yeah, we're talking about horses. I mean, talking about imaginary horses. Nothing. Back in my day, we didn't have deserts. We had large mountains and like rolling hills, but now it's all just deserts and desolation. Back in my day, everything wasn't radioactive. You know, back in my day, we used to go ahead and let the kids drink the lead paint because we didn't have any of that sissy may cause cancer. May cause death. May cause incidental death. Back in my day, not only were the women drinking the booze while they were pregnant, the babies were drinking the booze while they were pregnant. They didn't have that kid beer, they had that in vitro beer.
I know what it is. Yeah. I doubt they will.
Okay. I think we can correct to... Yeah, we can correct south here now. Your mom is right next to you? Hello, Rooster's mom.
What an in vitro is.
I don't think anybody needs to ask about what an in vitro is.
I mean, for my entertainment.
Back in my day, we didn't have adjustable rate percentages. We just went over to the bank, they handed us $100,000, and we didn't have to worry about paying it back. Back in my day, we paid for a house in raspberries. I don't know why I had to go ahead and, when I'm thinking of the old thing, I'm just over here like, well, let's go ahead and pay in some gold like a good old I'm giving him the prospector voice. BRB video call? Alright, we'll see you in a moment, Scout. BRB video call. Huh, I've got to tell Mother Base about this. Raspberries.
What the fuck are you on?
What do you mean, what am I on?
You're on the raspberry?
I'm on life, and it's making me say these things. Jesus talks, and he is saving me. Let's talk about you and me. YMCAA.
They can't see what you're doing.
Yeah, you guys can't see me flailing about, so it doesn't make any sense to you guys on this side. I almost have 3k kills in Kaiju Universe, the game I was talking about in Roblox. Yeah, I still have yet to play anything about it or see it. When I was getting ready for this one, I had to do a lot of research and really decide that I was going to get stuck in it. Watch the old Lion King, and it looks so old. I mean, yeah, that's because the Lion King is pretty old.
That's how animation used to be.
Let me see, when actually did the Lion King come out?
Let's see.
The Lion King came out in '94. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's that old. Now, you want to talk old.
Animation has changed so much since then, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You want to talk old. I think it's more of the process in which we render the animation. Because I think the animation obviously has changed, but the process that we render it really is what's made the huge difference.
So, in the time of Lion King, we were still doing it, but how I'm going to say analog, where it was on sheets of paper.
Yeah.
Now,
It's a whole bunch of digital.
You just have the storyboard and then it's digital.
Yeah.
Shit's storyboards and digital.
I mean, you want to talk real old? Snow White. Snow White came out in the
Fire and
20s.
Fire and Ice.
Fire. Oh, yeah, but Fire and Ice is like an 80s thing. That's like heavy metal. That came out.
Unicorn.
That came. I'm pretty sure that's like. Hold on. Last Unicorn, I think, is in like 50s or something. Hold on. The Last Unicorn. No, Last Unicorn is also an 80s film. That's during the era of, you know, He-Man and She-Ra. Like those 80s films, that classic style is what you think of. Yeah, like Fire and Ice, heavy metal, The Wizard, Perry the Platypus. That's very new.
You meant to say Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, I think Phineas and Ferb is what you're looking for, but either way, that's still relatively new. Like, I wonder what was like. What is the earliest cartoon? What is the earliest cartoon? 1908, Phantasmagory. Considered by animation historians as the world's first cartoon. Steamboat Willie only goes back to 28. Wow, Snow White is older than Steamboat Willie. Y'all old?
No, we just know about older stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be old to know about, like, old things. Yeah, I'm only 33. I really don't think that's old, though. Because I'm, like, my family ages so damn slow. Like, me being in my 30s is me being in my 20s. Let's see. Trolley Troubles with Oswald the Rabbit. Yep, because Oswald came out a year before Mickey Mouse, and he was their original mascot. Which I think is interesting, because when they came out with Mickey and that paintbrush game and everything, Oswald was originally there. I thought you were like 27. No, I'm 33. No, that's her. She's the one who's dad age, not me. But yeah, like face cam. I'm not gonna turn on my camera right now. I mean, you can call it sus all you'd like, but I'm not turning on my camera at the moment.
You're on your channel.
I mean, yeah, it's like literally on my channel. You can literally go look.
No, we will not do it for you.
You know what I think would be really interesting? So, remember when I said that Luff sounded like a boy and a kid? I was like, how's that your girlfriend? I was so confused. I literally didn't even remember that happening. But I guess Luft remembers it. Hmm? Yeah. I mean, I'll definitely have a face cam coming up here when Skyrim comes out. Or when I finally do Skyrim. Because that'll be my first time ever playing Skyrim, so... You forgot? I mean, yeah, it wasn't like a big thing on my side. Maybe to Lift it might have been something to remember, but for me, I was just like, oh, okay. But when I do Skyrim, I'll definitely have a cam up, just because it'll be my first time. And then you remember movies that came out before you were born. Here's a question. Here's a question. Do you remember this thing called hydrogen on the periodic table? Because that was before all of us were born. So if you remember that, you have no room to talk. Luft sounds like she's 40.
You sound like a bitch!
You sound like you're 27. I mean, I just...
How do you sound younger than me?
I don't know.
That makes no sense.
Listen, I don't make the rules.
Probably because you sound like a prepubescent 13-year-old.
Me? Oh, yeah, something like... I mean, I could go ahead and just sound like this all the time. Yeah! Hey, everybody, let's go out and go to the skate park! Yeah! Now you know how I sound. Jeez. But yeah, I mean, it's also because I spend a lot of time speaking, and I don't really... I don't know. This is a pretty natural voice for me, but I have a very large voice range. So my voice goes really deep, and my voice goes pretty high. I'm what's called a true baritone. I'm capable of... Well, I don't know so much anymore. I had bronchitis. I had a really bad case of bronchitis a few years ago. And it cut out a complete octave range of my voice. So there are just the high notes that I can't do anymore. But I do have a pretty significant range. Loves a creeper. How do you know how I sound?
Lucky guess. I don't even know who I'm talking to.
Rooster Ob.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely a bitch.
Big re? You're just gonna re in the chat? Is that what's gonna happen? Don't re too hard. Listen, I would not want people to go ahead and mistake you for a pig after you re. Water sucks? Why do you think water sucks and Gatorade's better? I wouldn't say Gatorade is better. I mean, Gatorade has electrolytes and stuff, but Gatorade is surprisingly, like, it's got so many calories. You shouldn't be drinking Gatorade unless you're doing some pretty profuse, like, activity. Gatorade was designed for sports and not necessarily for just general consumption. Because I think Gatorade sizes are like 8 ounces. And the bottles that they give you are just a fuck ton of calories. So drinking a Gatorade is basically like eating a taco from, like, Taco Bell. Soda's better? Soda's garbage. I'm kidding, I was referring to Waterboy. Oh, because Rooster said Brie. Man, I haven't seen Waterboy in very, very, very long time. But nah, soda's trash. Outside of Fresca's banging. Hmm? Oh. Who's Waterboy?
Oh my god.
Alright, let me go ahead and rest. Probably get attacked by an enemy. Hey, restoration improved. Where are we at? I hear you. There you are. Oh, a barbarian. Wasn't expecting a barbarian to be shooting at me. You like Dr. Pepper and Fanta? I mean, nothing wrong with liking them. Doesn't change the fact that, you know, sodas are still terrible. Hold on, did I hear it? Oh, I don't care. Ain't nothing in my way. I'm trying to get to this quest. Ain't no stopping us now. Coffee? Coffee is okay. I wouldn't say coffee is the greatest drink ever made, but coffee is alright. You want to talk about some of the greatest drink? Wait, are you a lizard man? Hell yeah, I'm an Argonian player. Why would I be anything else? I've been playing Argonians forever. I love the Argonians. But, like, coffee's okay. But you want to talk about the greatest drink ever? Kombucha. Yeah, that kombucha's delicious. Not only is it delicious, it promotes very healthy probiotic bacteria within your gut. Yes, it is. Don't lie to yourself. I'm not lying to myself, man. I just coffee is not the be all end all pinnacle of existence drink. Here's the thing. What the hell is a kombucha? You're just gonna have to look it up. If you want to know what the nectar of the gods is, you just gotta find it out on your own. But technically, if we're all being serious, like, probably the tastiest liquid is lava. You know, it's so good it sends you to heaven. I think we can all agree that lava is the tastiest of drinks. That is the true nectar of the gods. You place it upon your lips and suckle at the teat of the gates of the pearls. And you are beckoned by the hand of the master to rise. Whatever you say. Reptilian? That's offensive. Listen, I am an Argonian. I am not some common reptile. And this is why nobody gets along with the Argonians. And this is why everybody gets their ass kicked by the Argonians every time they try and invade. Because they're all like, huh, common reptile? You are nothing but an iguana. What's a fence? What do you mean, what's a fence? There's multiple definitions for a fence. You know, something you put up between two things to create a barrier. What's... I heard you say a fence? Alright. Now you're just rustling my jimmies here. Listen, Zuckerberg is definitely not a reptilian, and I'm sure the reptilians would not claim Mr. Zuckerberg. He is clearly a robot. There's a big difference. Sure, don't spam. Nope. I can't find the hidden word at all in there. I don't know if anybody told you, but I'm real bad at puzzles. It's at the end. Haha! Trick question, it's actually at the beginning. You thought you were slick, you almost had me. Technically, there are two hidden words in that sentence. Why do you keep typing E? Hey, you be nice to Nightbot. Nightbot was put in here to go ahead and do it so that way you don't have to hear me being like, hey, you know, hey everybody, make sure to go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Okay? Like, I gotta put it in so that way you guys don't have to listen to me constantly say it. Also, it's actually a pretty helpful reminder for anybody who comes into the channel. Here's what the youngins say these days. Well, it's a good thing I am not young, and I don't have to worry about, you know, Learning all that fancy new gibberty-gook. You know, all that, you know, bottle swagging them kids are saying. All them parlaments. Alright, let me go ahead and pop into this town. This should fix the thing, so hopefully this should fix it. Oh, please fix it. Please fix it. We are going southwest-ish, I think. That should take it where it needs to go. Hey, Lily. How you doing? Welcome back. Did I pass it? Nope. I am still just shy of it. It's somewhere around here. Luft does not mess around at all. She doesn't. Nope. If Luft gives you a warning, it is best to just listen to Luft because she does not play around. That is kind of why I just, like, let it go, because I'm not gonna go ahead and... I always tell people, Luft is the supreme thing here, so she gives you the warning. Just listen to the Luft. Alright, where are you? You're in here somewhere. Are you in a closet somewhere? Haha, you are in a closet. With a wheel. Good day, my name is, I must admit, I am surprised to see you. Are you perhaps able to help the Underking in an endeavor against the necromancers who will provide you liberty? You should probably find it elsewhere. Yes! Okay, now I actually have to take this down because, like, this is a pain. Remarkable. The necromancer taking an item, an item of ours. A casual pants of some value. The value is of secondary concern. The true problem is they are cursed. They cursed the site and gave it to the Blades. Unaware the Blades were once the honor guard of Tyrael Septim. Today they are a royal empire too. Always the Enders is reason. Blah, 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 blah. We want you to infiltrate Lugwitch, which I've already done, to remove the casual pants. Please have this done in 322 days if you want your information in reward. I'm gonna take a picture of this. I know exactly where I'm headed. But they don't really tell me where I'm supposed to go afterwards, so I assume I need to come back here to talk to this lady to get the quest done. But it doesn't actually say it, so that's the problem. Now I gotta head immediately back north to go exactly the whole direction that I just came from, all over again. And we're gonna head straight north. Straight north, across the water, across everything, over the land, over the oceans. Evening, so you rolled back bug mech stuff? I didn't actually roll back. I did manage to go ahead and fix it. It took a lot of file manipulation, but I did fix it. So there was no rolling back or anything. The quest itself didn't resolve, but it did manage to fix it so that way it reflagged the quest. So I have to recomplete the quest. It adds about 5 days on to the completion time. But I did manage to go ahead and get it back on track. So from here, all I've got to do is go to the dungeon, finish the dungeon, come back, turn it in, go to Belfaria, wait out Belfaria, go do the ghost cocaine, and then I don't know where else I have to go from there. But it should be fixed. Officially now. I am just glad that I didn't have to roll back an entire month. It did take roughly about... I mean, it obviously took like 3 days worth of messing around with it to fix it, but... I mean, better than losing a month worth of stuff. That's for damn sure. I am just calling it the Dragon Break. Yes, I am on Twitch as well. Yep, that's correct, Scout. I broadcast on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Because obviously, you know, YouTube was my main place. You guys obviously supported me before anything else. And now that I can multicast onto Twitch, it only helps it expand and grow. The only thing is, I don't think I'll ever do Twitch affiliateship. It's far too restricting for my kind of, for the way that I do stuff. It's not that epic, perhaps more like a dragonling snap. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely yeah, something like that. It's more like a dragon chortle. Not a dragon break, just a dragon chortle. If the first thing you say when you come out of timeout is E, it's probably a really bad thing, considering that's what she put you in the corner for. Also, if Luft gives you the warning, probably a good thing to listen to it. Thought that the chat wasn't updating my Wi-Fi. No, it's cool, I understand, but no, I broadcast on the two things, so, I broadcast on the two things, so a dragonling snap sounds like a fancy drink. It sure does. It sounds like something that you would go ahead and, something you would go make at a party, you know. How will I know it's a warning? If she literally says it, it's a warning. Like, I don't know. If you can't tell what the fuck a warning is, I don't know what to tell you. It's like a stop sign. If literally you pass a stop sign and you don't understand a stop sign is telling you to stop, you might lack a little cognition problems. If you do, I can't help you there, unfortunately. At least the good news is that, you know...
Hold on.
Yeah.
I just got a news update saying Gilbert Godfrey died.
What? What? No way, hold on. Hold on, guys.
Oh,
Big...
yeah, he was sick.
What?
Died due to complications with muscular dystrophy.
Oh no! Do you guys know that Gilbert Godfrey just died? I'm sure most of my, like, most of viewers my age will know who Gilbert Godfrey is. And if you guys don't, like, the voice of Iago, you know, that guy who has that super, like, strained, raspy voice that everybody knows. The parrot from Aladdin. Hold on. Let me just look up a clip, a Gilbert Godfrey clip. This guy. Hold on.
This is Gilbert Gottfried. I'm pissing and shitting and coming. This one is for Pootie Pie.
What a clip. But yeah, Gilbert Godfrey, that's unfortunate. Man. For me, he will always be the radio jockey from Ford Fairlane. Interesting. It's weird when you think about it, where people know actors and stuff from, or what they recognize them as their roles and things like that. Just like for me, like Robin Williams, I will always think of Robin Williams as Centennial Man, because that was my introduction of Robin Williams. It wasn't Aladdin, it wasn't any of that. It was, you know, it was in Centennial Man. Always thought he was annoying, but he was great in Aladdin. He was a unique guy. He was super nice. I got to run into him at Sundance out in Utah, because he really liked a lot of, like, indie films and stuff like that. And Sundance tends to bring in a lot of celebrities, and as long as you don't bug them or anything, you know, they're more than happy to talk to you just about stuff, rather than, as long as you don't bug them about being a celebrity or ask for autographs or stuff like that. Yeah, they're more than happy to you. And he's a really nice guy. Same with, who's that other dude? I can't remember his name either. Let me see if I can find this dude. So because I said E, Luft muted me. Because you said E multiple times, like, and you kept saying E, and you kept putting it, which is spam. Yeah, I don't have many rules. I'm pretty sure we've even had this exact discussion about spam before, too. I feel like we had this exact discussion during ARC about spam. Did you guys talk to each other in voice acting ways? No, I mean, I was just talking to him about, I don't even remember what the fuck I watched. I was just talking to him because Sundance is a place where you get these tickets and everything, and it was in Utah, so you could just drive to the Sundance Film Festival. So you get these tickets to go watch different movies and stuff. If you have nothing to say, then don't say E. Just don't say anything. Like, that's usually the best way to do it if you have nothing to say. I mean, hell, when I have nothing to say, I usually don't say anything either. But yeah, I mean, when you go there, you just talk to people and everything else. I mean, discuss the films, or, you know, if you like something, or if they've got recommendations. Obviously, they know their stars. They know people are going to approach them. But most of the time, if you just treat them like any other person, they're more than happy to go ahead and just talk. It's like Tom Hanks. I believe Tom Hanks has a place in a seafood restaurant. I don't remember whether it's here or it's not too like far. I've been to the seafood restaurant, but he has a reserved table there, and if you go over to that table and everything, he will talk to pretty much everybody, but don't talk to him about autographs. Don't ask for a picture. None of that. As long as you don't talk to him about work, he is more than happy to talk to people. So. Because you're a voice actor too? I'm not a voice actor, it's just my dream job, that's all. So imagine you guys were talking each other in funny voices. No, when you're there at Sundance, you go there to appreciate the films, you know. You go there to appreciate the films, you don't go there for any other reason. Yeah, like, I really enjoyed Sundance. There's some pretty unique films and stuff that pop up. There's some pretty unique films and stuff that pop up there. But alright. But both of you guys, we can just both of you guys, we can just put a big chopping block on that one and just put that one off to the side. Rooster, please stop insulting my fiance. I would really much appreciate it. And if you don't, I'm gonna personally, you know, step in. Rooster, what's your fucking problem today? You're coming in the channel, like, causing a ruckus. Don't be mean to the viewers. Scout, just let it be. Everybody needs to stop fucking having a hair up their ass right now, because I'm starting to get annoyed, and all I'm doing is running past the sand. Seems like this is where all the action is. It tends to be. Yeah. Alright, guys. Listen. I go to work, and then I get off work, and then I come here immediately to the stream. Like, I was chill, but then started to chill again, and then Scout made me mad. Okay, you're in control of your emotions, just like anybody else. Okay, what? Okay, once again. If somebody else, if somebody made you mad, there's still no reason to go ahead and retaliate. Like, Scout, cut it out, please. You have a good stream. You have a good day, Scout. Sorry about all of this. I wish we would have done that 5 minutes ago when I had asked everybody to stop. Okay, I'll just mute. Yeah, that's usually what ends up happening. Are there even crickets in the desert? Speaking from personal experience on my deployment, there are hundreds of thousands of crickets in the desert. I cannot tell you how many times I woke up in barracks and every morning we'd have to sweep out the hallways with all these dead crickets that found their way, like, inside the halls. And we'd have, like, dustpans and dustpans full of crickets. There's a mod specifically to remove the cricket sounds. It's weird because crickets they roll in seasons out in the desert. So, like, there was like a rotation, like 2 months was full of crickets, and then 2 months was full of beetles, and then, like, 2 months was, like, miscellaneous flying insects, like mosquitoes and like, gnats and stuff all over the place. So, it was a pain in the ass, because it was just every 2 months you knew these rotations were coming. I don't think crickets taste like chicken. I mean, most insects, depending on how they're prepared, tend to just taste like a potato chip. Like, cicadas just tasted like soy sauce potato chips. One of the weaknesses Daggerfall is really that it has stuff like climates and seasons, but no effects other than snow or not snow. I mean, the occasional rain, but I don't know if that's like a regional thing or whatnot. Yeah, I noticed that. I stepped away from my computer for like half a second and slammed into a wall immediately.
Why are you gliding?
What do you mean?
You were gliding.
I was jumping. Mexico doesn't exist in this universe, so it is not the border wall.
Imagine all those people that were confused. There's fucking Batman and you went through a goddamn town. It's a
Yeah. You had the whole desert and you managed to hit a wall. Yeah, it's what happens. Literally, it happens so often because ever since I learned that I can set my run on autopilot, it happens more often than I would like. Why the fudge are the crickets chirping sounds so satisfying? I don't know. I guess there's a big thing that people either really like the cricket sound or they really hate the cricket sound. Like, there's only two schools of thought, because I've seen both sides of it, where people are like, oh yeah, this beat banging, and then I've heard people be like, man, these fucking crickets. So, I've heard both sides. If I'm not mistaken, I think you can actually make, like, crickets into, like, dough if you have enough of them. Yeah, you can grind them into a powder and then, like, actually make, like, cricket bread. Cred, yeah. And if they sell it out in the suburbs, then it's street cred. Listen, some people like the cricket noise. Some people, that's their jam. Yeah, pump it up. Cricket pizza bread. I'm sure that's a thing. I've heard stranger. Enemies nearby. Alright. Hello, random enemy. Bard just died. Get the heck out of here. I don't need your sad song. The only song I need is your death rattle. Don't you ever launch an arrow at me ever again. I'm not going to launch an arrow at anybody else ever again either. Steel staff, garbage. Nothing in here. Alright, we're heading straight north, all the way across, all over again. Why do the enemies look like they're so tall? It's because I'm crouched. I crouch all the time. So enemies aren't really tall. I'm actually taller than most of the enemies. I'm just crouched. It's a personal habit and superstition. One, I feel like my character moves faster when they're crouched. I'm sure it doesn't, but it feels like it. Two, I feel like I fall through the ground way less when I am crouched. So it's just personal superstition is the reason I'm doing it, so... Yeah, and from here on, it is a straight shot. We are going to go from here, directly up, and then once we get to land, I think we'll make the correction to head over to, where is it? Graves, Greenford, Ashfield Crypt, Buckingham. Oh, is it considered a home? Is it this one? Hawkford Court. It's one of these things around here. I can't remember where, but either way, we'll get to it when we get to it. I'm not too worried about where its direction is. I know it's up there, but... Alright, you have a great night, Lily. We'll catch you when we catch you. Hopefully, all these work days aren't treating you too bad. It's the orange dungeon? Ah, okay, got it. Got it. I'm just mad that I have to do this whole quest line all over again, that's all. I mean, I'm fine now that it's fixed, but it's kind of upsetting because, like, it did take a long-ass time to get this quest line done the first time. Mainly just because I had to run everywhere. And now I'm going to have to go ahead and take another long-ass time to run all the way up there to do the exact same thing. Bless you. Thank you, by the way. I'm really bad at knowing where things are sometimes. Lighter color means bigger, so red dungeon is a small crypt, brighter orange is bigger. Holy fuck, is that serious? I have no idea. Do you want to do a collab on Roblox where I teach you to play? I have no interest in doing any collabs or touching Roblox. Like, I am not interested in doing any of that at the moment. I am pretty much locked into a challenge, and when I'm locked into a challenge, like, one, I can't do anything, and two, I really just don't, like, I don't know, I've tried playing with other people before, but people fucking lose their minds, and I really don't want to go ahead and just deal with people that I have no way to go ahead and actually control, or have no way to know what they're gonna go ahead and say. Why do I say collab like that? Collaboration? That's just the way I say it? I don't know how to answer that one. I mean, I thought that's how you said it. You know, collaborate. The same with the cities, the brighter town, the bigger the town, that's why the capitals are always white. I had no idea. You have just dropped a giant knowledge bomb on me. That is insane. I am just learning this for the first time, and I really wish I had known this, because this would have changed my approach to dungeons completely. I'm so... Listen, as the kids say, I am shook. Well, either way, you know, I don't know what to tell you, you know, it doesn't really buy you much good graces, so. But man, brighter towns. Hold on, let me. This is no way. So you're telling me that? Hold on, I gotta look now. That place that I accidentally bopped into right before I left, walled city. Wow, I am. Wow. Okay. All right. That's a thing I didn't know that I wish I had known earlier. Because that would have told me everything that I needed to know and where to go to look for, like, a mage's guild way early on in the game. Holy heck. I mean, it's... At this point, the information is late. I mean, it's welcome, but completely pointless now. I mean, it does give me a good idea of what kind of dungeon I'll be walking into, so there's that. Now it's just the long thing over the ocean again. Yeah, a lot of people didn't pick on that. Maybe it was the manual that no one read. Yeah, that manual's long as heck. Yeah, that whole README document? Well, I mean, I guess I should have picked it up and read it. I've had plenty of time to do so, so... That is... You know what? Hell, I think that's what I should do. I should just read the manual while I am actually sitting here and see what other cool, nifty things I can pick up. Daggerfall manual PDF. Let's look this thing up. The manual. This manual is, what, how many pages? This manual is 97 pages long. Wow. No wonder nobody read it. I mean, I've definitely had my way around plenty of a manual, but geez. Water walking montage, it looks the exact same no matter what I do. Alright, I gotta go use the restroom real quick. I will be back shortly. Don't go anywhere, everybody. I'm gonna leave my character running so that way I can still make some progress. Alright. Okay. I'm back. Sorry about that. Alright, let's get that double heal. I don't even want to check my map. We've probably barely made any progress into the water. This manual is really large. Oh, goodness. Alright, well, let's see what we got here. Daggerfall User's Guide. Thank you for purchasing this Virgin Interactive Entertainment product. Oh no, I said the word. Yeah, banned on Twitch, remember? To get the most out of this and all other games, take advantage of the following product services. If you have a modem, you can call our bulletin board service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Please try our bulletin board or fax for the fastest customer service. Wow, this manual literally says if you are having trouble with this game, send us a fucking fax. Wow, this is interesting. Oh, it's because it was a different company at the time. It wasn't actually Bethesda. Ah. I mean, it was Bethesda, but I guess it was owned by Softworks. Alright, anyway. Let's continue along this manual here. There's a bestiary? Heck yeah. What's the story? I need some help. I think I'll call the game forums. Oh, man. I wonder if those numbers are still active, if you can send a fax over there. I would totally send a fax and be like, I just wanted to see if this number is working. Whoever gets this message, you're awesome. Keep up the good work. That would be hilarious if it's still running. I highly doubt it, but... One of the pleasures of working on the follow-ups to a hugely successful and critically acclaimed role-playing game is having interesting questions to answer. People who play role-playing games need more than some pretty graphics and non-stop action to whet their claymores. Man, if this comment aged poorly. People who want RPGs need more than graphics and action. They want depth and character and wit and drama. They want the thickest, most involved novel that has ever been read, translated to their 15-inch screen. With themselves as the hero. This manual is awesome. I love this manual already. During the... Let's see, that's why I love people who love role-playing games. They're so reasonable, in italics. During the years between the release of Arena and the publication of Daggerfall, we've danced around the answers to the question, what's the story of Daggerfall? We've said we haven't got time to go into it, that we don't want the competition to find out, and that we're still answering some of these details, that it might have something to do with this, or maybe that. The truth is simply, we don't know yet. That's how you design a game. Go into it with no idea what you're gonna go ahead and make. Just throw it on the screen, program it, and hope it works. Man, this game is... Okay. When players asked what the story of Daggerfall is, I imagined Macbeth asking the question to what the story to Macbeth is, before the beginning. You are the protagonist, the hero of the game. The story is what you decide to make it. There are going to be foils to your character, people who will try and stop some of your most grandiose goals, and people who are there to help you, if it serves them.
but it is your aims and ambitions that frame this story. After all, role-playing games are plays in which the stars are the members of the audience. Given a large and well-appointed stage, a supporting cast of improvisationalists, and an alert background crew, they are capable of anything. And the best thing we game designers and programmers can do is give you what you want and get out of your way.
Man, I don't know if this is bad or good. Because clearly they put a lot of thought into this manual itself. This really shows how much this was intended as a tabletop RPG in a computer form. Yeah, you can definitely tell. You can definitely tell, because you can clearly tell that they intended this to be a very in-depth thing, and they probably just didn't have, like, if they were to remake Daggerfall, they could probably do it. They could probably make Daggerfall everything that they had intended Daggerfall to be nowadays, with the technology and everything they have. I just think it's funny, some of the way that they word it, like, because it kind of makes gamers nowadays sound like trill in comparison to the way they were back then. You know, because they're like, nobody wants non-stop graphics and action, they want story and involvement. And nowadays people are just like, listen, put a gun in my hand, tell me I'm Sergeant Whoozy What's It, and send me in the direction of the enemy. Like, you see a lot of that nowadays. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's room for all types of gamers. There's no reason to, like, put one gamer down to rise up another, but it's just interesting reading this, because you can tell it was definitely meant for a completely different generation. Let's see.
You have a challenge ahead of you in Daggerfall, in more ways than one. This is a game designed to encourage exploration and reward your curiosity. There are opportunities to do great and heroic deeds, and likewise, possibilities to indulge in less virtuous activities. You are not required to follow a potential path of righteousness nor a path of depravity, but both roads and everything in between are open to you, just like in real life.
Listen, if I want to walk a path to depravity, that road is not open to me. I mean, I'm capable of doing it, but, like, probably only once or twice, not that consistently. I can't go out there and, you know, get veins in my teeth and, you know, all that nonsense. Can't do any of that.
Unlike real life, you can switch off potentially offensive scenarios if you wish, by using your Child Guard feature. Who says virtual reality can't be better than reality?
Wow. Man, the people at Bethesda, they were thinking about VTubers and all of that even before VTubers were a thing. Who says virtual reality can't be better? Man, they were sitting here thinking about the e-girls before the revolution came. Thank God. Commander Whoozy What's It's here to save the day. Child Guard feature, jeez.
In the world of computer role-playing games, it is considerably more difficult to create a book with blank pages than one where the story is complete. Daggerfall is a heartfelt group effort by all the programmers, writers, artists, and designers who worked on this project. Special thanks are merited by a group of our dearest friends and harshest critics, who have the official title of beta testers, beaters, but who contributed to everything from writing fables for the bookstores to designing the shop and the castle interior. Of course, we would not have known what direction the Elder Scrolls needed to take without the letters, posts, and telephone calls from the fans of Arena.
Wow. Man, can you imagine being that guy back in the day who played Arena, and you call up the company and they're like, hey guys, I've got this really cool idea. There's this guy, his name is Maylog Ball, and he's gonna be a Daedric prince. He's gonna be a prince. And they're like, well, we can't really fit any princes. Okay, he's gonna be a demon, but they're gonna call him the Daedric prince. Well, he can't be the only prince. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come up with all of these Daedra and all of these things all at once. Listen, I've got this whole thing, and he pulls out a notebook and starts reading off. There's probably some guy out there who is just on the phone with the developer at Bethesda who came up with some idea that's so integral to, like, Elder Scrolls as a whole, and we have no idea who he is. Man, that's hilarious. Games back then were just different. And so we turn the question back to you. What's the story? If not for us to answer, follow your own spirit. Tell your own story. We hope you help make it real. The replay the save game strategy. Most computer gamers use the save game to maximize their playing ability. Anytime something goes wrong, they return to a save game and replay it until they get it right. The final history of their game looks like an endless streak of lucky breaks or perfect choices. Role-playing is not about playing the perfect game. It's about building a character and creating your story. At Bethesda Softworks, we have worked very hard to make The Elder Scrolls Daggerfall a game that does not require players to replay their mistakes. All adversities can be overcome, accepting only the character's actual death. In fact, you will see that some of the most interesting aspects of the game, unless you play through your mistakes, which is absolute bullshit because, listen, if I could go ahead and just not, like, replay my thing, it's why I play Iron Man these days. Oh yeah, if you die, you restart. I could see that being very fun, especially in Daggerfall. I could absolutely see that being a thing. But, like, unfortunately, because if the main quest breaks, the main quest breaks. There's no real going back on that. That's why I had to work so hard to try and fix this, because if it had broken, that was it. I would have had to start over. I would have lost a good 100+ hours in this game. Let's see. I mean, we're coming up on 2 months, so let's take probably about 150 hours into this game I would have lost completely right there. I mean, most people who play this game. Yeah, but back then Daggerfall launched. It was broke before you even started, so you ignore the main quest. I can't imagine playing this. It probably is a great game and everything, but I can't imagine trying to do a full no fast travel all quests run. That would be insanity. Somebody out there will probably do it, but not me. Alright, let's see what else we got in this manual. If your character dies, gets locked in a dungeon, or some other truly catastrophic event takes place, by all means, return to your last save game and replay it. However, if your character is caught pickpocketing, if a quest goes wrong, or some other mundane mishap, let it play out. You may be surprised by what happens next. I'm not going to be surprised when a guard comes out of nowhere. You know, guards that have tin cans hiding in bookshelves, and then they suddenly, like, halt! I will not be surprised when that happens. History. Devouring time, blunt through the lion's paws, and make the earth devour her own sweet brood. Pluck the keen teeth from the fierce tiger's jaws, and burn the long-lined phoenix in her blood. In Second Era, 896, a noble warrior king named Tiber Septim rose from the turmoil of the civil wars that consumed the continent of Tamriel, and proclaimed himself emperor. Many opposed his claim, and were crushed beneath him. They were crushed beneath his might, like sputtering sparks of a flame. The years after his conquest, when Septim was crowned first emperor of Tamriel, he declared the beginning of the new era, the third era of Tamriel. But that is all ancient history to you. Oh, let me save real quick here. There we go, just in case something happens.
You were born in Third Era, 375, during the reign of the 21st Emperor of Tamriel, Uriel Septim the Seventh. The civilizations that Tiber Septim forced into subjects of the Empire have nearly fallen. As the Elder Scrolls predicted, the Bloody Wheel has nearly turned all the way back to anarchy. Some call it the whims of Geoffrey the Storyteller, whose crafts fate those for the divine amusement. Others say that the unworthy heirs of Tiber have allowed their vassal kings too much liberty and lacked their ancestors' military genius. Bork bork, bork 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 bork. A few look to the characters of the people of the arena of Tamriel and remark that no one could create a lasting empire, such as a place. Tiber must have been a supernatural aid, must have had supernatural aid to accomplish what he did. Such theorizing is best left to the scroll keepers of the Imperial City, or the Psychics of the Isle of Arterium. Arterium? Arteum. Tamriel is what it is.
Man, this is some... She's going off. My dog doesn't normally bark, like, when she's awake. So we normally just let her go while she's sleeping. Because she doesn't really bark. So it's always nice to actually hear her bark. You guys may just hear dog, but we hear, like, our dog actually vocalizing for, like, the first time since we've, like, had her. So, I apologize if you don't hear me, like, consoling the dog or anything, but, like, she doesn't bark when she's awake, so it's nice to hear her go off. Ugh, I can still see myself, but I guess that puts me right at the island here, just above, so... Our cat just snores. I remember when I still had a cat. I mean, I was young. I was really young, so I don't really consider it my cat. I feel like it was a cat that was given to me that, I'm kind of bothered by it because I had that cat for so long. And when I went off to the military, they gave the cat away. So... yeah. Just because it didn't get along with my stepmother's cat. Yeah, so... that was a little upsetting. But anyway.
The current Emperor is no stranger to you. You have helped him in the past, and now he considers you a loyal subject, perhaps even a friend. Trust is a hard prize to win from Uriel Septim. He trusted his last Imperial battle mage, the power-mad Jaeger Tharn, and it nearly destroyed him.
Oh, wait a second. So this is the same Uriel Septim from Arena. Huh.
When the Emperor summoned you to his audience chambers, you were not surprised that he asked you to arrive after midnight. You were accustomed to seeing the Emperor at unusual hours. Sometimes it seemed that, to the Emperor, you were an unusually crafted weapon to be drawn in secrecy, away from inquisitive eyes of the Imperial Court. A trusted guard escorted you down the marbled, gilded halls of the Imperial Palace to the Emperor's audience chamber. Along the way, you passed ancient tapestries and sculptures acquired by Tiber Septim, or one of his equally adversarious descendants.
Avaricious. Adversarious. Yeah, I never played Arena, but just about every generated character's background touches on Jaeger Tharn, the character from the first game defeating him. I did play Arena, and it was kind of a pain in the ass. It's the only game that I can't do a no fast travel run in. It's physically impossible. If I could run from place to place, I would still be running, probably over to Skyrim, because it takes like 63 days to run in game from one place to the next. So I'd probably still be running, but yeah, it was okay. It was kind of a pain. Wasn't exactly the most smooth of gameplay. And, yeah, the story was a little bit disjointed. It also didn't give you very much direction, so you were kind of just hoping to go the right way.
Uriel Septim greeted you formally in utter darkness, as Okado lit a single candle, emanating the barest illumination. This was to be an unusually surreptitious meeting, even for the cautious Uriel Septim. Please excuse the gloom, he began, with the solemnity that you had never heard before, but none may know of our meeting. The nature of my trouble is darker still. Its subject is King Lysandus of Daggerfall, a man who died over a year ago, honorably on the field of battle. You started to respond, but were silenced. It was peculiar of the Emperor not to allow you questions or comments. He almost seemed afraid too much of the inquiry into his particular affair. Without pause, the Emperor continued. He is a great and loyal subject, ally, and friend to me as you are. I did grieve for him, but I now hear his spirit will not rest. It haunts his former kingdom, crying for revenge. I do not know why such a good and loyal man would be cursed, but perhaps you would find a reason. You could close the marble jaws of Oblivion and put his soul at peace. I ask you this as your emperor, and also as your friend. I have one other loyal servant.
Oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Queen Masera, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, this is the whole beginning quest thing that they go through. Uneven. Wow, this is long as heck. The whole introduction. Jeez, this is like... It's like a 5-page introduction. Holy heck. Man, they did it different back then. They don't even give you a manual nowadays. This one gave me a 97. Lineage. It even gives family trees? Wow. It's interesting. Getting started, starting options, loading your save game, selecting character generation, selecting a homeland. Skyrim. The citizens of Skyrim are tall and fair-haired people, strong, willful, and hardy. The Nords are famous for their resistance to cold, even magical frost, and are known for their prowess as warriors. Elsewhere. So here's a question: they haven't done a mainline game in Elsewhere, have they? I think they only did like a DLC in Elsewhere or something, right? Still remember Ultima 7, where the manual also contained its own alphabet cipher that you had to use to translate most of the in-game text like signs? Can you imagine having to learn a complete... Oh, well, I guess people do that for Japanese games all the time. But, like, that's crazy. We don't have stuff like that anymore. Like, a complete alphabet that you can't understand any of the language or the stuff people are saying. And you have to just kind of guess and check your way through a bunch of stuff. I think that's pretty interesting. I would be the kind of person who would just be like, oh, well, guess I better get cracking on this code. I like stuff like that, though. I'm weird. A friend of mine was a complete Ultima nerd and could read and write that alphabet without the cipher. sometimes you get really dedicated to it, and that's how it just happens. You get really into it. Man, I thought Ultima was such a good game. I believe they finally shut down all support to Ultima just not that long ago. Because I remember hearing something about it. When did the last... Let's see, when did the last Ultima... Around 2000 and, if February 14, the original Origin, 2004, no longer named the studio managing it. Is Ultima Online still active? With Broadsword Online Games taking over its care in 2014. Oh, yeah, I mean, Ultima Online, it's not the same, but, let's see, 12 years later, 2008, team still says they're still as excited and ever to be working on the game. New experience outside of the regular consistent updates would appear. Ultima Online's audience is the, I guess Ultima Online is still available. Hold on, let me see. Ultima Online. Should you play Ultima Online in 2022? Man, can you imagine that? Getting into that kind of game? That's like jumping into RuneScape in 2022, which, by the way, RuneScape is on one of my lists of things to play at some point, so, mind you, it's there. But still, that's kind of like jumping into RuneScape. Like, not that there's anything wrong with RuneScape or Ultima, it's just like, it's an old thing, it's kind of like, if you're jumping in now, you are so far behind anything. Hey, Biscuit Buzzer, hello and welcome. How are you doing today? we're back on our way across the water to run out towards Lugwitch Castle to do this beautiful quest that I've already done a second time to ensure that the quest flag activates appropriately. And I'm doing alright. It has been a big thing. A lot of action today. But yeah, doing alright. Ultima Online paved the way for then EverQuest and was released to get started, and then WoW made it mainstream. Did not really feel the genre move much after that. I have to agree, I feel like World of Warcraft did a lot of good things for the MMO and online games industry as a whole, but at the same time, I also feel like it kind of pigeonholed a lot of stuff into place. You sound like you're very happy. I mean, I'm just here, you know, about how the quest is going. I'm happy because it worked. I am unhappy because I have to do it again. It adds another 5 days onto my completion time. Running all the way up there and then having to run back to turn it in is going to be about a 5-day journey. So yeah, I'm happy it's working. I'm not happy it has to be done a second time. That's all. But WoW did a lot of good things, but the one thing WoW did is it really pigeonholed the genre. Because WoW was so successful and did so many things right that everybody's immediate response is to replicate it. So, I don't think there's anything wrong with World of Warcraft, but I do feel like it turned the industry into a position where it has slowly begun to stagnate. Sure, they keep releasing new content, and yes, a lot of games do come out. I do think if there are any online games that I can say take a very different approach, it's probably Black Desert, in my opinion. But then, I mean, it's a completely different style of game. They're really not comparable, so... maybe, I guess Final Fantasy, but I feel like that's also not comparable either. Hey, Cosmic. How you doing? So, I don't know. I mean, I can't think of many things. I will say Zenith, I think, does a really good job. For being a virtual MMO, Zenith does an excellent job of doing what it does. It created a mediocre MMO that is very immersive, that you feel like you're extremely involved in, which I think is very important. I think even though Zenith is not the greatest of MMOs, because of how immersive it feels, it really takes the MMO genre in a very new and refreshing direction. Aside from all the fucking fetch quests, but get to play that type of game yet? Zenith is I really enjoy VR games. Frankly speaking, if I could play if Skyrim was in VR with all of the DLCs, I would absolutely go ahead and play it. But unfortunately, it is not. Or it is in VR, but it doesn't have all the DLCs, so there's nothing I can do about it. So, it's kind of like, okay, I guess. I'm hoping that, like, for the future of the MMO genre as a whole, World of Warcraft. Well, I mean, for all of World of Warcraft's faults, and everybody talking bad about it and everything else, it really did popularize the MMO as we know it. It made it go from just a game, from just a niche genre that a bunch of people were in, to a full and open, like, thing that people talk about all the time. As much as I dislike saying it, Critical Role kind of did the same thing. And it's not because I don't like Critical Role or anything, I just feel like it brought in a very different crowd of Dungeons & Dragons players that expect everything to kind of be like how Critical Role plays out, and who brought a completely different viewpoint that was a lot more closed off than the people who originally started playing Dungeons & Dragons. It's weird, because, like, you would think a whole bunch of fresh blood coming into Dungeons & Dragons would really bring a new perspective and really open playability. But it didn't. It feels like it closed off even more, because you can't follow the same routes, because God forbid you say something that bothers somebody or causes a problem nowadays. It stopped being about Dungeons & Dragons, and now it's more of a... Now it's just a tabletop role-playing game. If that makes sense to anybody out there. For anybody who has played Dungeons & Dragons. Maybe I sound like I'm talking out of my ass, but for me I feel like the whole identity of the game has changed. Even with, like, RuneScape's updates recently, I think that it does a good job of keeping up with the modern MMOs, but at the same time, RuneScape's just the old horse that's keeping up with the rest of the stable. I can't see them investing a lot of effort to really bring RuneScape up to the modern day. What was that? I've been a GM for many years, but I never really liked the D&D. It's too generic and combat-focused. Once you get away from D&D, you also leave behind a lot of RPG cliches, RPG nerd cliches and expectations. Okay, so what, since you're doing GMing and stuff, personally, if I had it my way, I would play Rogue Trader, but Rogue Trader's kind of a dead game with materials that are completely out of print and very difficult to come by. Or I'd play Shadowrun, which I have always wanted to go ahead and play Shadowrun, but I've never had the opportunity. You may actually hear me occasionally talk about Acorn. It's pretty rare that I bring it up, but you'll hear it here and there. And Acorn is my personal, Acorn's my personal tabletop that I've been working on. It's taken me a long time to kind of come up with some of the concepts, and everything else, but I am still working on it, and one day I may actually go ahead and release it, but... Sitting on Norska for about... WFRP? I don't think I am familiar with WFRP. Warhammer Fantasy. Okay, gotcha. Wait a second, you're telling me there's a Warhammer Fantasy? There's a Warhammer Fantasy game? Holy heck, that is awesome. I only knew that there was a 40K. That's crazy. Hey, that's something I'd actually be interested in. Because Rogue Trader and Rogue Trader was kind of one of those big ones that I really enjoyed. And the Warhammer universe as a whole, I think, is just super enjoyable. Yeah, but that's something I'd super be interested in. It's funny because for me, that's like going, there's hobbits in the Lord of the Rings too. that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. Like, I don't mean like I don't mean to compare them, because I know that fantasy and 40k are very different monsters. I just mean that the Warhammer universe as a whole is interesting. Because I've seen a lot of the history for fantasy, and I've seen a lot of the history for 40k. But I think both of those are pretty cool. And I'm not saying fantasy for the fact that, oh, it's Warhammer Fantasy. It's more of, you know, I really enjoy the Skaven, and would be super interested in playing a Skaven. I don't even know if that is, like, a playable character or not. I assume not, because the rat people are probably just big enemy number one for a lot of things in that universe. If given the chance, I think Skaven would have been my chosen army, but you know, I couldn't invest too much. I had a Nids army, you know, a good 500,000 point Nids army, and that's enough. Oh, okay. So you know that there is a fantasy setting, you just did not know about it as a tabletop RPG. Yeah, that is correct. I did not realize that there was a tabletop RPG. I am well aware of the difference between fantasy and 40k. I mean, there are a couple things that they share, because obviously your green skins are going to be green skins no matter what universe you put them in. And then your chaos still exists, which is weird because I've always had that question, because if I'm not mistaken, in the lore of fantasy, it may not apply to, like, the tabletop RPG, because there's probably set rules, mechanics, and history according to whatever edition you're in. But if I'm not mistaken, I think, like, the Great Rat, and the Great Rat kind of sits in the position that Nurgle would be. I think Chaos, obviously Nurgle should exist, but if I heard something about, like, the Great Rat kind of sitting in that position versus Nurgle being there. Which is weird, because you would think that Nurgle would always be in that position. I mean, it's such a ubiquitous, like, I guess, pantheon, for lack of a better word, to control. People are always going to be sick, there's always going to be plague and pestilence, but... How the hell does this guy know about Rogue Trader and not Warhammer Fantasy? About the nature in chaos and fantasy for pages? I do love that kind of stuff. I can tell you, I've got quite a large set of codexes and manuals for 40k, just because, not even because of I wanted to see the army, but just because of the lore in general. So, Warhammer Fantasy itself, I've delved into some of the history, but I haven't had the chance to really, dive deep into it. So it's one of those things I've always been curious, because I know enough about surface level, to be able to have a conversation in Warhammer Fantasy, but just not enough, not enough to really go deep into it with somebody. But yeah, I had no idea that there was like a tabletop RPG for it. Man, that makes it so much more entertaining. I could probably rustle up people for a fantasy game. That's true. That's definitely true. Because Warhammer it's such a brutal environment, and that's what I think a lot of tabletops lack, is the brutality that Warhammer brings to the table. I just assume whenever somebody mentions tabletop Warhammer, that it's just gonna be non-stop pages of blood kind of stuff. Sure, there's gonna be obviously the RPG elements, but I just know everybody's gonna die at some point. Warhammer Fantasy was probably Games Workshop's first tabletop RPGs. It's currently on their 4th edition. Ah, that's pretty cool. So, when you're talking the editions, I assume it has like different campaigns and stuff like that you can go into. Just, you know what? I have the internet in front of me. I can literally look this up and see all the cool stuff that Warhammer Fantasy RPG has to offer. Warhammer Fantasy RPG. I see the 4th edition and I see the PDF, which I am going to go ahead and look at this PDF at some point. So let me just put that on a tab so I can go look at it later. It has 80 punk rock reactions to... It was the 80s punk rock reaction to D&D.
You're saying your kids are into Satanism. You want to see real Satanism coming to Warhammer Fantasy.
That kind of thing. I could see that. Man, and then kids are getting, parents are getting upset about, like, thinking D&D was satanic. There they are, completely missing Warhammer Fantasy over there. Literally birthing chaos. That's funny. So it's all British dark humor, Monty Python full of puns with them. A lot of awful racism, disease, and violence. Yeah, so basically the same as you would normally expect it to be. Okay. Also, all editions have had easily gained permanently injuries, diseases, mental illnesses, chaos mutations, hard for it to be heroic with no legs. Oh yeah, I think in Rogue Trader, our navigator at the time, he was a mutant, and I remember, like, he just kept growing fucking limbs. He kept getting mutations and kept fucking growing limbs. It was hilarious. I mean, not for all of us, because, you know, everybody was scared of a navigator as is, but... yeah, I like games like that. I mean, permanent injuries, diseases, you know, providing a serious handicap and wall to the players. I mean, that's why I really enjoy, that's why I really enjoy, very difficult challenges. Because the challenges, they not only provide a challenge saying, hey, this is a wall you have to overcome. The feeling of knowing that you have overcome insurmountable odds, or you've been able to go ahead and cross a threshold that very few people have, it's a wonderful feeling. It's the same thing as being able to go ahead and finish off your first 5K or your first 10K, or, you know, first half marathon. Stuff like that. You're joining a camaraderie of people who have tried, attempted, failed, or accomplished this exact same task that you're going into. So I love those kind of things where you have insurmountable odds, your character's chances of surviving are super low, you go into it with the best of intentions, knowing full well that it may not work out. I'm also a big fan of like tragedies and you know, the hero's downfall and stuff like that, so that might have a lot to do with it. But yeah, it's just, I enjoy that kind of gameplay. It's not for everybody, but it makes you come out on the other side stronger, especially when you've taken many stabs at it and you've attempted to accomplish whatever task you're doing, and you fail, and you fail, and you fail, and you fail, and then when you finally finish it, it's this sense of euphoria as you bask in the glory of this task being overcome. So, yeah, I love stuff like that. If it's just as difficult as what I remember from Road Trader, I would love to go ahead and pick it up. And since I can see the PDF, I'll peruse through the manuals and see if it's something I would be interested in playing, or at least getting people together. More likely than not, my best friend would have to go ahead and DM it, because he knows a lot more about Warhammer in general than I do. So he would be better off doing something like that. You have to excuse me, I'm trying to like get this thing out of my throat that you almost heard me choke on in the middle of my excitement. I didn't even know what the hell it was, but... Now that I have the chance to actually look at Ultima, maybe I should add that on as a challenge. I don't know enough about Ultima to really see what would truly be challenging about it. Aside from, you know, surviving and actually playing the game, but... typical expectation of Warhammer Fantasy is that no matter how much of a fighter you made, a mob of peasants with pitchforks and a lucky roll can kill you in one hit. Not likely, but the chance is always there. And that's good. That's how it should be. I mean, it's one of those things that it's why when you have a hero that... It's why anime kind of bothers me sometimes when you have a hero that dies, gets transported or reborn into another world. And then he comes out to be this unstoppable hero demon slayer thing. Even then, there should be a weakness. You can't have a good hero without some weakness. And their villain should always be, you know, something that's equal to them, I suppose. But when you step out of the bounds of that, and you create these heroes who are more human, or, you know, as human as you can be in comparison, you create these flawed heroes who are doing their best to go ahead and attempt to go ahead and finish their goals. You have a group of adventurers who are out there doing their damnedest, trying to go ahead and survive, knowing full well that they could trip on a rock, and then some spiky rock could just stab them in the eye and they could die. Unlike where on a lot of tabletops that you see, it's pretty much a big hero fantasy where you're providing your players the opportunity to be everything they never got to be or never will become and stuff like that. I'd prefer a more grounded experience where not only is it just a new experience or a new character, the opportunity to be great, it's as just you're risking everything to do so. It's weird because, like, that's a really good example of why I always feel like Squid Game itself is good, aside from it just being a good show. It's the fact that between Squid Game, Kaiji, Akagi, all of those gambling scenarios, you come to a point where all of these people are trying to go ahead and get rich without any of the hard work. The people who have spent their entire lives creating all this money and everything, sacrificing their youth, sacrificing everything who they were or could have become, for the expectation that their future is going to be better, and getting all of this money. And then you have all of these people who are saying, oh no, you can't go ahead and kill me, no, I don't want to go ahead and die for all of this money. You're giving people who haven't put in any of the time and effort the opportunity to become instant millionaires, billionaires, whatever, in the blink of an eye, and sacrificing all their time to do so, which is the exact same thing that the person who you know, anteed up all the money to do so did in the first place. So I'm probably in the minority of agreeing with the super rich guys who were just like, hey, look, here's all the money if you're willing to go ahead and put your life on the line, kind of thing. I'm probably in the minority, but I'm also a financier and I see everything from a very different perspective. To me, everything is kind of dollars. Dollars and cents. But yeah, I mean, playing into something like Warhammer Fantasy would be awesome because your character is striving for glory. And you should be aware that your character is risking their life to do so. It should never be just something that is casually placed into your lap. You can either go for the instant hit of dopamine, or you can go for that massive, fat stack of it when you finally accomplish what you set out to do. I don't know. I'm over here rambling. I don't get the chance to go ahead and talk talk difficult games and like tabletop RPGs too often. So I get really into it because I do a lot of world crafting and story designing and character development and stuff. I always design for my character's death backwards. I feel like if you can determine how that character is going to die, you can do a better job of guiding them on a much better path. Whether it's them going out in a blaze of glory, defending a town, and then finding out that they didn't need to do that and everything was fine without them sacrificing their lives, or whether they go ahead and they end up passing away in their sleep after a long life lived. Hey, Skundrix, welcome back. Nice to see you here. Thanks for stopping in. How you doing? Out of the long camp, our long campaign was set in Norska as Norskins, so basically Vikings from the heavy metal underground, okay? A lot of survival in winter, gaining mutations, and committing atrocities to reach their goals. Okay. Been a while. It sure has been a while. I'm pretty sure, like... I don't exactly remember how long it's been, but I know it has been a while. The last time I can remember interacting was in Ark. Doing pretty fantastic. The challenge is going pretty well. It's taken a long-ass time, but I expected it to. Work's going pretty well. You know, we're still trying to get back near the end of Ark. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, because that was the last time I remember interacting with you at all. But yeah, I'm slowly making my way through. I think at most, I have 3 weeks left of this challenge, and at soonest, I think maybe I have a week and a half. So you had kind of a shower thought. Alright, shoot, I'm ready. But it's really inappropriate. I don't think you should allow me to talk about it. I don't think you would allow me to talk about it. I mean... Is it... Okay. Usually, and here's... I'll give you this as a thing here. I don't really have a problem with most of the things that people say on here. Because technically I am an 18 plus channel. So regardless of what it is, I think I'd be okay talking about it. But if it's too much, I'll let you know. I say go for it until I tell you you can't. Classic Joe, I've never really had shower thoughts just of my own reality while I'm in there. Shower thoughts don't always happen in the shower. I get all of those random thoughts all the time. Like... I can't even tell you about what happened yesterday because Luft has claimed she's claimed ownership of that one for her stream, so I can't tell the story. No, it's okay. I'd rather it debut on yours than on mine. I watched a video from Rammstein. Okay. That's how they are. And thought about something? Okay. I'm tracking thus far. pretend to have your own world or pretend to save your entire school from danger. That's okay. I get it. You know, a lot of people go ahead and I spend a lot of time in my own head. You know, I may exist out here, but let me tell you, meat space is nowhere near as complex as what I spend all my time in my head doing, so... I like to tell people that... Okay, hold on. Let me switch over to this thing, because maybe YouTube hasn't, like... Hold on, 1 second. If you type something, give me a second, because YouTube does tend to, like, not show things if it thinks it is a little too much. You type something. I'm gonna pull up my actual chat here so I can, just in case. Okay, whatever you typed did not come up whatsoever. So, whatever you typed, you're going to have to find a different way to go about saying it, because YouTube didn't like it. Why I just... Hey, different folks, different strokes. Some people want to go ahead and save everybody, some people don't. Enemies nearby. Well, not gonna worry about that. Here we go again. Oh no, what happened? Y'all right? So, okay. I'm tracking, I'm ready. Ready to receive. Receptors out. Have you guys ever pretended to fight someone in the shower? I don't think I have. I mean, I think about it all the time, you know. But that's their culture, so it's normal for them. All I see here is that's their culture, so it's normal for them. If you have typed something prior to that, I haven't seen it. I saw that's their culture, so it's normal for them, and that's it. So whatever you're typing, YouTube itself does not like. I wish I could tell you, but I can't do it. YouTube doesn't like it. It doesn't like it so much it's not even putting it in the channel. Well, whatever it is, I guess it is a topic that is a little too hot for YouTube, because they seem to not want you to say a damn thing about it. So I apologize that it is not a topic we can discuss here, whatever it may have been. Alright, we'll catch you later, Scundrix. Thanks for popping in. Always a pleasure. Have yourself a great day. Okay, let's save just in case something decides to screw up while we're on the water. And let's see where we are. Hey! We're actually almost to shore. Fuck yeah. That wasn't too bad. I was expecting that to take forever. That did not take that long at all. Almost hit this, and then from there we can head up. And then we'll be in Yakalon right after that. Take out the towns I'm at. And we're not even that far from, like, if we were to just go straight up north, we could just correct when we get a little bit closer, and that'd be that. Oh, you're... Oh, okay. I was confused as fuck. I'm like, wait a second, hold on. What's going on? Hey, Propane, how you doing? Hey, I'm gonna see if Twitch will let me say it. Alright, I'm ready. I see you here. Twitch, maybe it'll work, but I'm ready to go. So, Propane, it's fixed-ish. I just have to go complete the quest itself, and then we'll see where it goes from there. It's windy. We're in California right now, so I tried to open the door at my house. It almost broke the window. Caught it in time, like the door was kind of close to the door. Oh, jeez. Didn't have a stopper or nothing. I mean, hell, it's windy. Wind does some fucking crazy stuff to all kinds of things. They had boobs exposed, that's their culture. I mean, it's, okay, here's the thing. It's not just so much about the culture and everything. Like, I did see your messages here. It's like 10 degrees colder than usually where you live right now. Are you guys getting a big weather spike or something coming through? Okay, hold on 1 second, guys. I'll be right back in a moment, hold on. I mean, I suppose there's... Okay, that is a very difficult subject to actually talk about. As much as I would love to go ahead and actually talk about, you know, how censorship laws work and the difference between showing it for, like... showing it as, like, abuse in commercial game and in a fashion that is definitely not considered kosher versus somebody who is taking, like, a documentary or being done in like an artistic manner, and even then that kind of draws the line. So that is not something I can discuss with you. You would literally have to message me on Discord. It's clearly not something I could actually discuss on the channel. Like, yeah, it's too hot a topic. Like, I just have to tell you outright, but I understand why you're asking about it. I would be more than happy to talk to you about it, but I can't talk to you about it here. Like, it's literally just, it's too much. But I 100% understand where you're coming from and why you would think that. No, it's okay. You're fine. You're fine. No problem. Some cold weather, Arctic winds blowing through. Just curiosity. I mean, I understand. Makes sense. What it would fall under. A lot of times, depending, it's circumstantial. I mean, the way to kind of talk around it is really circumstantial. If there's some times where it's being used for artistic purposes or, like, educational purposes, and you can prove that it's being used for that purpose, then it usually tends to stand. And if it's also not being used in an overtly nefarious or evil manner, it tends to stand. So I get why you would think it would be a concern and everything, but you know, in that context, as it's being used in an artistic manner, I would assume that it wouldn't fall under that kind of stuff. But, like, that's about as much as I can go into it. Without getting into a serious discussion that would have YouTube or Twitch so far up my butthole, I would be getting a prostate massage. Yeah, like I remember when I used to go up north and everything. It's cold as shit up there, but I mean, you're probably enough into Canada, you get the brunt of the cold before it even passes over. I'm curious, like, I get that the storms and everything pass through, but I assume the storms are much worse in Canada prior to them getting to, like, the northern United States. I've never been to Canada, so I don't know. One day I will go visit. I'd love to, but... To be transparent, the video I watched at adults, and it was a music video. Yeah, so that's why I was saying. I'm pretty sure that it had to do with... It was being used for an artistic thing. And I guess, if you're talking nudity in different places, the U.S. It has a lot worse than the Northern U.S., that's for sure. The U.S. has a very strange relationship with nudity as a whole. There are a lot of cultures in a lot of different places that don't see nudity as you know, terrifying as we do, but see violence as an extreme thing. Whereas we have no problem depicting somebody's face literally being ripped off, or people being shot to ribbons, or grotesque amounts of gore and violence. But God forbid you show a female titty. Like, we have this really weird relationship. It's probably has to do with a lot of, and no offense to any people who are religious out there, but it has to do a lot with religion as a whole, that even though church and state tend to be separate bodies, religion plays a huge influence on how things are viewed, or how rules, regulations, and morality is determined here in the U.S. So, and we're on the very extreme side of a lot of things. So, yeah, it's our relationship with nudity is completely different than a lot of relationships with nudity that they have in other parts of the world. So, you're gonna go now? See it? No! Don't go! You gotta stay at least a little bit longer because Scout thinks you don't like him. No, you gotta at least, before you go, you gotta at least assure Scout that you're okay and everything's fine. It just so happens to be your schedule. You can't leave and leave him like this. Jeez, you're giving me anxiety. See? All's good. All is good. See, Scout, I told you, you guys are fine. It just so happens to be coincidence that it happens to be when you arrive back. It's nothing to do with anything else like that. Kind of a slightly cruel joke, but at least you know now, Scout. There's nothing bad here. Worry you not. Everybody's friends here. I think, most of the time. 90% of the time. My sister lives in northern Alberta, and it gets way colder up there than it does where I am. Yeah, like, I don't understand. It's funny because I've always thought that I want to spend a year living in Antarctica, or at least a little bit living in Antarctica. You know, just to say, hey, I've lived in one of the coldest places in the world. But yeah, I think it would be super cool. So maybe one day if I get rich enough, I can go ahead. You brush aside huge cobwebs, large spiders scuttle from your path. Oh, hold on. I can take advantage of this new knowledge that I have about how dungeons function. And this is too big a dungeon for me to want to attempt. Yeah. I'm so glad, Rawl, you have saved my life telling me about how the dungeon colors and everything work. And now I am so excited because I know I can jump into a dungeon, finish it, knock it out, and run back out. And break up some of the monotony, rather than just avoiding every dungeon because I think it's going to be 7 hours long. I'm very happy. What have I missed since what's his face streaming into the stream? Nothing too much. I mean, I got the quest. I ran back across the ocean. I'm now here back on the continent and heading towards 12, remember. Emphasis. But like, yeah, I'm just heading out towards Yakalon right now. Yeah, and that's pretty much all you've missed, is me running. Like I said, it was probably gonna go ahead and take, it was probably gonna take an extra, like, 5 days onto completion time. I'm thinking I might actually, with the speed that I'm going and how much time I'm actually making, I might be able to go ahead and finish out the quest. I mean, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, maybe in 4 days total. I might be able to knock it out in 4 days. Deodorant spray in the eyes is a good deterrent, though. Jeez. Listen, or... I thought Luft would have my back. Oh, Luft would absolutely have your back. She's just not here right now. Luft definitely was raging over on this side and getting ready to go ahead and like, lash, but... Do you still hate Daggerfall after what happened? I wouldn't say hate, but I feel like... I still have a slight bad taste in my mouth after what Daggerfall did to me. You know, Daggerfall face-fucked me and didn't even have the courtesy to give me a reach around. You guys are awesome. Kids get annoying. That's why I left. Oh, I understand. What, you know, it just what normally happens. Sometimes some of the viewers are a little bit more rowdy than others, so that's where the term Moon Crew comes from. That's how it came into effect to begin with. Is because of all the lunacy that happens in the chat. I'm glad you caught on. I'm glad somebody caught it. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I hate the game, but that quest breaking really soured my opinion. The fact that it took me like 3 days to fix it was problematic. Not only I had to go finish another quest to go ahead and force the flag to pop properly. I had to fail the current quest I was on, start up the quest again, to cancel out the quest, to then go into the files and actually make adjustments to the actual, like, quest log and items and stuff. No, it didn't break again, but I'm just talking about what happened when it did. So, it shouldn't have taken me 3 days to fix this quest. Frankly, I understand that the quest failing could completely ruin the main storyline, but there should have been options for it. There should have been a way to go ahead and circumvent a failure. to the point where the whole quest just completely breaks and you can't accomplish anything again. There should be some safety net. And reading the manual, I 100% understand why they didn't put a safety net, because, like, it definitely seems much different. It was written by a completely different, like, time period, and the people were expecting a totally different kind of gameplay. So, I actually do want to read through this manual. It looks fairly interesting now that I see how detailed it is. Yeah, and I know Daggerfall definitely does not fuck around, so I have learned my lesson and will no longer try and do crazy multi-quests routes. I will just go from one end to the next, finish off the quest I am on, and even if it takes a little bit longer, at least I am guaranteed to not screw it all up. I kind of intend to give my totem to the Underking, so I don't know if that matters or whatnot. If anybody knows if that's the wrong answer, or not the wrong answer, if that is a decision that will brick my quest, please let me know. That is my intention, though, is to give it to the Underking. Cause a ruckus. There's no wrong answer except keeping it. Well, there is a wrong answer because I have heard that there is a way to brick your quests if you give it to particular people. So that's why I'm like, to any of the major powers and you can still complete the main quest, don't worry. Okay, great. Then yeah, I'm probably gonna give it to the Underking. Maybe I should give it to the Necromancer just for the fucking shits and giggles. Let's see. Yeah, he was one of the big regulars a while ago, but I mean he's always been part of the lunacy side of the Moon Crew. That big old rowdy group of people. Okay, now we can save here. Alright, cool. The Underking is the good answer. The Emperor being the lawful good, aka the stupid good option. I wouldn't say lawful good is always stupid good. I would say that chaotic good is stupid good. Chaotic good, in my opinion, has always been just as evil as chaotic evil. Because chaotic good is one of those things of, oh, you're mistreating this child, let's burn the entire village to the ground to save this child, and God forbid they steal a loaf of bread, chop their hands off to make sure that they learn their lesson. You know. Spoil the rod, spare the child. So, my chaotic good has always been one of those things. I love playing chaotic good characters, because nobody ever fucking sees it coming. Like, people think chaotic good is always going to be awesome, but no, chaotic good is just as bad as chaotic evil. Oh, man. Chaotic good characters, a good chaotic good character, is a phenomenal character. You know, it's not just about saying, hey, it's about reading every letter of the law and saying, if you even forget to put the period at the end of the sentence, thou shalt meet the blade, kind of thing. But you gotta have a DM who's really willing to push the limits of of chaotic good as well. Chaotic good is one of the few characters I will really give the "it's what my character would do" pass, because they really are "it's what my character would do" kind of people. Can you give an example of chaotic good? Should be said, I always found the D&D alignment painfully dumb. Sure, you can stretch a concept and make interesting characters, but the system itself is really reductive. Yeah, it is kind of reductive. It makes it difficult to go ahead and fit your character's actions, because there's a lot of gray area within, like, tabletop gaming. Let me find a good example of chaotic good for you. The problem I see with a lot of chaotic good is that people play chaotic good as for the greater everything. But a lot of chaotic good characters really should not be as nice as they are in comparison. Because I wouldn't consider Mary Poppins a chaotic good character. Nor would I consider Robin Hood. I would consider Robin Hood like a lawful good, but definitely not chaotic good. You know, chaotic implies the idea that your character is willing to... Like, okay, this is my personal example, and this is what I tend to... Rooster? Are you really gonna go down this road? Are you really gonna go down this road again? I told you to stop it. I told you to cut that shit out. And stop harassing and bullying other people. You do not want me to step in. I do not have the patience that... Luft may put you in timeout, but I am very much a get the fuck off my channel kind of person. Do not harass the other people. And don't play dumb, you know exactly what I am saying. This is the warning. That's it. Okay, so let me look in for chaotic good. Okay, here's a good thing. Freedom before goodness should not exist, because yes, freedom is a thing, but goodness will always exist. Goodness before freedom is usually how I tend to see. Those who are more good, they desire to do good, but also feel responsibility to do good, and the necessity to do good. They will view freedom as a secondary concern before doing the right thing. They are not opposed to a lawful system, but they are akin to becoming a dictator to ensure that everybody is doing the right thing and murdering everybody who doesn't go ahead and abide by the law, rather than allowing evil to take root or exist. So a chaotic good character would have more of a chance of becoming a dictator, or what you would consider like an evil character, because they are following goodness to its most direct and truest path. Sounds mad, so I'm just telling you how it is. Don't harass people. Simple as that. Hard time seeing this as evil. hard time not seeing this as evil good, and that's the thing. But chaotic good is like that. There are people who will play a quote chaotic good. If you make the laws, are you not then by definition lawful good? Lawful good would be somebody who follows the laws, right? And understands that laws are necessary, is willing to go ahead and break the rule occasionally to ensure the betterment of the group or a better outcome. The difference between lawful good and chaotic good is lawful good will take out the... Lawful good will go ahead and take out the evil cabal that lives in the city because it's the right thing to do. Chaotic good will take out the evil cabal that lives in the city, will then go ahead and take out the village for allowing it to take root, and then we'll go ahead and raise it down to the ground to ensure that no evil can ever set foot in that place again. That's how I've always viewed the difference between lawful good and chaotic good. A lot of people do call chaotic good chaotic stupid because they're I will end evil at all costs kind of players. And it's true, they tend to play really bad, dumb players, but a good chaotic good player will just seem evil. Not because they're doing the wrong thing, but because they're following what the most righteous path would be. If an Archon were to step into that place, what decision would the Archon make? What decision would an angel make in that place? Because an angel would not see the difference between it. They would see, this is evil, smite. That's just how it is. And chaotic good players see this is evil, smite it. That's just my opinion. You know, I've encountered some good, some bad on both sides. Just how I've always seen it. Anyway, guys, it's 3 hours in. I'm gonna go ahead and call up my stream for today. We're gonna make a new... We'll use this one, because I think they're both the exact same stream here. Azon, no, I'm not mad. I'm just saying don't harass people, that's all. Hey, Jester. Your day has been really good. Alright, before I go ahead and give my outro and everything else, please tell me about your day and how everything's going. I'll listen to it before we go. I want to make sure that you get somebody to recognize all your stuff. And while I'm here, I may as well just go, because... if I have time, may as well take it, right? No, Jester, I promise, I wasn't trying to end it just because of the thing. Tell me about your day. Go ahead, do it. Nothing? Nada? Got sent 5 raised keys. Wow, that is a phenomenal day. Yeah, absolutely. As soon as I saw Razer keyboards, I know how much they are. I went keyboard shopping for Lift's equipment. That is... wow. Congratulations, my friend. You're sitting on a small treasure trove. Maybe you can trade those things out for other stuff that you might need. That's pretty good. Congratulations. Hopefully you can keep all of them. You also watched the Sonic 2 movie. Did you enjoy it? Because I thought it was really good. I'm glad that they're keeping to a lot of what the video game storyline is. While also mixing in elements of, you know, their own personal story. While also mixing in my favorite fucking Sonic game, Fight Me, Sonic Adventures. Yeah. Oh, I'm aware of it. I am aware of the Black Widow series. So congratulations. But anyway, guys, okay, now that I have heard this, I'm gonna go ahead and call it up for the night here. Let's hope they don't ask for the back. I'm sure they won't, but you know, who knows. Anyway, guys, for those of you who are new to the channel, make sure to like and sub. It helps the channel grow. Well, I guess like, sub, and follow, because I don't want to miss out on you Twitch guys here. But yeah, go ahead and do that. Helps the channel grow. And for all of you regulars, thank you guys for taking the time out to come see the channel. Jester, congratulations on getting sent a whole treasure trove. I did think the newest Batman film was fucking bad. I actually really enjoyed the new Batman film, that's for sure. I didn't expect Robert Pattinson to be bad, but I wasn't expecting him to be so intense as Batman, honestly. But yeah, so no special announcements or anything else. We're going to be doing the same thing we do every day, Monday through Saturday. 3-hour streams, maybe a little more here or there. Obviously, I care about hearing what you guys have to say, so I won't cut it off early. But, yeah, let me stop rambling and get on with my day. Hopefully you guys have a great night, and remember, if your favorite streamer isn't streaming, come on over and come watch this side of the internet. I will catch